Hey friends, how's it going? Got this chair sneaking up on me over here. Forgot my sword. Hopefully you saw my other video by now. It's a little silly, but it's also kind of true. I hate chairs, and there are good reasons for why I hate chairs. So today, I want to answer the question, what makes a good seat? And I want to parse out some of those details. Maybe they'll be helpful for you too. So, what makes a good seat? The first thing you probably think is, it's comfortable. No, that's not what makes a good anything, actually. How do you boil a frog? You up the temperature a degree every minute so that the frog gets used to it, so that the frog thinks it's just getting a nice, comfortable, warm bath. Yeah, comfort isn't the only thing that matters here. So, what makes a good chair? That's still the question. Let me show you. But first, I need you to do something a little weird for me. I need you to take your hand, I need you to feel your butt, and I need you to go below the gluteus muscle, so below the butt muscle, but above the hamstring, right? So the hamstring is the one that makes your leg do this. Pull your heel up, but we want below the butt. There should be a bone. Mine is right about here. And it's called the sitz bone, which is like the best name ever for a thing that helps you sit. Now, it is SITZ, not SITS, but that's the bone that you want to find in order to understand what makes a seat good. The sitz bone is going to be your foundation on the chair. So, most people would say, oh, this is wood, this is hard, this is yucky, this is not a chair I want to sit on. But actually, you want something hard because your foundation is going to be the thing that you stack all of your bones and muscles on top of. And if your foundation is bad, if it's poor, then you won't be able to relax while you sit down. You'll have to work harder and you'll feel worse while you do it. Imagine a dog that tucks its tail between its legs. What's it feeling, right? That dog is not happy. If you sit like you're tucking your tail between your legs, if you sit with your hips tucked underneath like this, it causes the curve in your spine to change. You get this sort of C shape instead of like an S or a J. J's better, but we can talk about that later. So you want your foundation, and you judge your foundation based by the sits bones and whether or not you can put your weight in front of it. You want your foundation to be good so that the rest of your body can stack up on top of it. And you want your butt to be on something hard because if it's on something hard, you'll be able to feel the sits bones and your body can constantly use that feedback. If you're sitting on something soft, comfortable, it's not going to work and you won't be able to feel your sits bones. The position of your pelvis will continue to change, and therefore you're going to get headaches and feel gross, and all kinds of bad things might happen. So, what's one thing that makes a good seat? A good seat is going to have a hard sitting surface. Are all hard surfaces created equal? The answer is no. Some chairs with hard surfaces are going to be better than other chairs also with hard surfaces. So, how do you know what's better? Well, you want something that works like this. You want the back of the chair to be higher than the front of the chair. So, where your butt and back go, that should be a little bit elevated, and the chair should gently slope down to where your legs go. Okay? The idea is your knees are going to want to be lower than your butt. This chair is a great example of what you don't want. Well, I guess there are worse examples, but you can see the back of the chair is lower than the front of the chair. This gives you that sort of like raised knee feeling. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but if the back is lower and the front is higher, it forces me to take that sort of pelvis tucked position. Remember the dog with the tail between its legs? That's exactly what we do not want for good sitting posture. Oh, and while we're here, another thing about chairs, you know how they usually have like the back part? Yeah, don't use that. It's bad for you. If you're leaning on something, you're screwing up your natural posture and you're not stacking your bones and your joints and your muscles in the right ways. So thing number 2 that makes a great seat, the front of the seat is going to be lower than the back of the seat. It's not going to be extreme, but there will be this gradual sloping. Okay, so let's talk about height. I'm 6'1", so it feels like everything was designed for somebody from Lilliput, and I'm a giant. But here's what's important when it comes to deciding a chair. And as a tall person, I'll have a few advantages. And perhaps you are shorter than I am, and you'll have other distinct advantages too. So if you're not in the NBA, it's not all bad. Because I'm tall, when I sit, my feet always reach the ground. That's good. Your feet have a ton of nerves that send constant signals to your brain, and your brain uses that information to help establish some of your posture patterns. So, my feet are almost always on the ground, no matter what chair I sit in. That's good. But because I'm tall and because my shins are really long, sometimes my knees are higher than my hips, right? Have you ever seen somebody sitting in that sort of scrunched, like knees up to their chin method? Like a lot of cars do this. That's bad. And because I'm taller, I am at a disadvantage when it comes to that. All right, so there you go. There's 3 things, right? Let's see if I can remember what they are, because I'm not reading off cue cards for this video. Thing number 1, your chair should have a hard surface, okay? Thing number 2, you should make sure that I had to cheat and look. The pressure of the camera was too much. Okay, so number 2, you want the surface of your seat to be sloping downward gradually. So it's at its highest point in the back and it's at its lowest point in the front. Thing number 3, you want your feet flat on the floor and your knees lower than your hips. If you can get all of those things combined, and if you can have great sitting position of the pelvis with the sits bones, with your weight just forward of them, that's going to set your pelvis up to have a great foundation, to sit effortlessly, and to be really comfortable while you do it. I hope you found this helpful. Hopefully you got some great info from it that you can take, practice, and feel better throughout your daily life. If you got something from it, give me a like or a subscription. It helps me out. It lets me know that people are interested, and I am hoping to make this something bigger than it is. So, please, I'm going to put some links to some of the people that I've studied and researched so you can follow up with them if you like. One of them is Esther Gokhale. She's a postural expert. She has awesome content. And I highly recommend checking out some of her stuff if you're interested in posture and how the human being as a biomechanical animal was meant to move. Thanks, everyone. I'll see you next time.